San Diego is home to 1.4 million residents. By 2050, the city's population is estimated to grow to 1.9 million in the city and 4.9 million in the county. In order to keep up with the growing population, the city has proposed to build 367,000 new residents by 2050. According to Sandag, this is 150,000 residents short of what is necessary. San Diego is the second most populated city in California, while its population density is only 4.2 thousand people per square mile. In order to keep up with the growing population, the city must find new innovative ways to deal with the housing crisis. A proposal to rezone single-family homes within the city limits to multi-unit and mixed-unit complexes would aid in balancing the housing shortage.
The basic steps, every city has a zoning plan and a general plan, right? Zoning plan is what it is, general plan is what the city wants to be. The rezoning process, if you stay within the general plan, is pretty straightforward. If you want to go outside the general plan, it gets really sticky. You have to do a bunch of studies. You do soils, geotech studies, hydrology studies, environmental site assessments, phase 1 and 2. If those are not mitigated negative decks, if those trigger anything else, then you got to do more expansive studies on the environmental stuff. Maybe a full-blown EIR, maybe just a cultural study, archaeological study, paleontological study, biological study, traffic study, noise study, whatever it is that was triggered in there. So larger projects, you trigger specific plans. That means you're going to have to do a full-blown EIR, environmental impact report. Those take a lot longer. Maybe PUDs if you're doing those kind of things. So larger developments are going to take a lot more work. If you're building near an airport, here in downtown, 500-foot height limit throughout, a mile and a half radius around the airport. Anybody near the water? Coastal Commission. Coastal Commission is going to add a lot of years, and a lot of stress, and a lot of money to your project. And then, so the process is you submit it to the agency having jurisdiction for approval, and they break it up to all the departments, and every department has their say. So the government develops infrastructure if it's major infrastructure. In most cases, you're going to do the offsites. Most developers build their own infrastructure, and then they turn it over. Now they have to do it to the standards of the agency who has jurisdiction. So infrastructure is done by the developer. The city has a say as far as zoning it for that purpose. So here in San Diego, you'll see a lot of empty commercial space at the street level because every residential building is required to have commercial on the bottom floor. The city requires that. A lot of times I'm trying to get the rezoning and the building approved at the same time. I can do those at the same time as if I'm the developer and the builder. The coastal cities, more populated areas, the more developed it is and the closer it is to the water, the longer and more arduous the process gets. The more you go out into the hinterlands, the easier the process gets.
So, how does rezoning benefit the city, and what is the limitations? On the good side, San Diego will be able to provide more residential units. Rezoning is also beneficial to the city's economic growth by providing more job opportunities with new construction. Since the population density of an area will increase, more business would settle in the community and potentially improve residents' quality of life. This could also enforce the city to put out more public amenities to satisfy people's needs. On the downside, the city might have to relinquish some of the individual property freedom for the common good. For the community, the increase in population might worsen local traffic conditions. New construction would bring air and noise pollution to the neighborhood. It might also lead to encroachment on protected wildlife.
It's no secret that San Diego is suffering a major transportation problem. With a projected population growth of 1 million by the year 2050, our roads are going to become more congested, making it more difficult to travel in and out of urban areas. Currently, there just aren't enough options for more efficient travel throughout the city. San Diego wishes to see a future where infrastructure, homes, and businesses are all built around public transportation. However, currently that is something the city is unable to provide. To improve the problem, the 2050 Regional Transportation Plan with a budget of $214 billion was passed so that improvements can be made. Living in downtown San Diego is too expensive for families with lower incomes. This is pushing people out of the city where they are forced to commute further to get to work or school. Common areas people tend to head to are North Park, City Heights, and Golden Hill, which surround downtown San Diego because they have lower housing prices. According to March 2019 apartment list data, the average rent for a San Diego studio is $1,413. For a one-bedroom, it's $1,564. For a two-bedroom, $2,030, and for a three-bedroom, $2,923.
When the city expands, it takes over the areas that once were suburbia. Now it is a time to rezone that land to the high-density residential and mixed-use zone. Implementation of the new zoning regulations proposed by the city officials is already happening. Along with sprawl suburbs, rezoning existing lots within the city will help to relieve the housing crisis and provide sufficient number of homes for growing population of San Diego. Although further expansion of the suburbs affect traffic and environmental situation, it is important to provide a variety of housing choices for the residents to accommodate their preferences, whether it's an urban or suburban lifestyle.